Tomorrow on Black Friday, GMA will reveal live to you the best deals out there. The biggest savings in real time. The coolest stuff you've just been waiting to buy.
We cannot wait.
It's happening live for you. Tomorrow on GMA's Black Friday Spectacular. You're welcome, America.
This morning we had a few showers move in along with some rumbles of thunder and lightning, but overall it was a very nice Thanksgiving. We had warm temperatures earlier, but now some colder air is moving in with dry conditions the rest of tonight. Tomorrow morning will be very chilly, and then a freeze is expected by Saturday morning. Hard freeze next week. I'll have a look at all those temperatures coming up.
Right now on News Channel 6 at 7, Thanksgiving is here, and downtown Augusta was filled with food vendors with a feast in the streets. We'll take you to the event as your News at 7 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 7.
Good evening, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving. You're watching News Channel 6 at 7. I'm Hannah Latier. Coverage you can count on begins in Augusta. Despite some of the challenges the city of Augusta has faced since Hurricane Helene hit, local business owners and community members and leaders came together to serve the community this Thanksgiving. Bria Smith has more.
Cafe 209 celebrated Thanksgiving with Feast in the Streets for a second year Thursday morning.
It's an amazing thing for the community, just to kind of revitalize everything that's going on in the community, and to have everybody come together and just have smiles and love in the community. That's big for me.
From 11 a.m. until 2 p.m., folks had the chance to get a hot meal with all kinds of Thanksgiving favorites and toiletries and sleeping bags.
It means a lot just to be able to just help a lot of people and everything, just to be out here helping the community and just to be nice on Thanksgiving.
Local members and leaders of the community say their coming together speaks to the strength of Augusta amid the recent challenges of Hurricane Helene.
And we know the devastation that the hurricane brought to our city. But this is a good event because what it shows is, number one, that the community still has a need. And then number two, it shows that the business owners in downtown, particularly Cassandra Glenn at Cafe 209, still has a heart to serve the community. And so this is a great event because we're able to tap into the better parts about our community, serving those who need our help the most.
Staff and volunteers at Cafe 209 showed their gratitude for their chance to stand strong and provide a sense of security for all this Thanksgiving. In Augusta, Bria Smith, WJBF, News Channel 6.
And it's time now for our first look at our weather with Chief Meteorologist Jenna Petracci. And Jenna, at least it wasn't as stormy here as it was supposed to be.
Yeah, that's right, Hannah. It was overall a really nice day. We just had a few light showers come through very early in the morning, but I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving so far. The rest of tonight will be completely dry. Let's take a look outside now at our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam. It is pretty not much going on this evening here in Swainsboro. You can see nice dry conditions. Temperatures are chilly though, just like they were this morning. So we had a low of 49 degrees, warmed up nicely though in the afternoon to a high of 74. Now right now we're sitting at 64 in Augusta. Winds are still coming in from the northwest, 11 miles per hour, so a bit breezy at times, dew point of 46. So you can see that drier air is moving in with temperatures falling now in our northern counties. We're seeing some mid-50s up there, and then down towards the south we're in the mid-60s. Now, as for our satellite and radar, we do still have some cloud cover, and that will linger into the overnight hours, but we're really not expecting any more rain other than a few stray showers when you're headed out the door Friday morning. But your day planner looks good. If you're headed out Black Friday shopping, you'll just want to bring a jacket with you, as we'll only be topping off in the upper 50s tomorrow afternoon. And as we look ahead, it is going to be very, very cold over the weekend with that freeze watch Saturday. Hard freeze likely next week, with temperatures plummeting all the way down into the upper 20s starting on Saturday. But the good news is that we will have a lot of sunshine to enjoy. I'll have more details on your forecast coming up, but back to you, Hannah.
Jenna, thank you. Thanksgiving always falls on the fourth Thursday in November. The date changes, but the day of the week never does. Bria Smith tells us that wasn't always the case.
When you think of Thanksgiving, you think of pilgrims and indigenous people. But did you know Abraham Lincoln was the one that made it a holiday and chose that it would be celebrated on the last Thursday of every month? Towards the tail end of the Civil War, after Gettysburg and after the Emancipation Proclamation, Lincoln proclaimed it a national holiday. Prior to that, states all celebrated on different days. A woman named Sarah Hale, an editor for a popular magazine for women, wrote a letter to Lincoln asking him to make it a national holiday. He decided to do it because he felt the country needed a day to give thanks after such a dark time in our history.
There's so many people praying all at the same time. There's so many people lamenting at the same time. There's so many people grieving at the same time. There's so many people worried at the same time that you can imagine having a national holiday to give thanks would be a popular thing.
Creating Thanksgiving may not be at the top of Lincoln's historical list of accomplishments, but it speaks volumes about his legacy that creating such a major national holiday is so low on his resume. But Abraham Lincoln isn't the only one that started a Thanksgiving tradition. In 1863, the president's son, Tad, became friends with the turkey the family was going to have at that Thanksgiving, naming him Jack. That friendship led to the first turkey ever being pardoned.
In the 1940s, Congress issued Joint Resolution 41, forever making Thanksgiving a public holiday. And in Aiken, many chose to spend Thanksgiving with friends and neighbors at the Come to the Table meal. Come to the Table is hosted by the Salvation Army in Aiken. It replaces One Table, which was a community meal that took some time off after struggles to find a venue. 700 meals were served today at First Baptist Church with all the fixins. Staff members say everyone should have a seat at the table on Thanksgiving Day.
Events like this make it amazing for people like me who don't have anybody out here, who don't have any family or have any friends, so it is important.
This event really is providing a way for individuals to, just for a moment in time, to just escape the realities that they face, to enjoy a good piece of pumpkin pie and some turkey.
And event organizers say that feeding the community brings us all together as one. Black Friday is tomorrow, and some local retailers are prepared and setting up for the big day. Swank, Escape Outdoors, and Posh Tots are sister stores and have been getting ready for months for Black Friday. They already have customers waiting outside all of their stores to get the best deals tomorrow morning.
We order the doorbusters. We make sure we have food for them in the morning. We want to have swag bags. We want to make it a fun event where people want to come and people want to be here, and we just enjoy it so much. We've had people at our stores since almost 10 a.m. this morning, at Escape specifically, so there's people lined up, I think, everywhere right now.
Swank and Escape Outdoors will be open from 7 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Posh Tots will be open from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Brown Snowy Mountain Christmas Trees has had difficulties getting their trees to the CSRA, but didn't want to miss out on this tradition. They decided to open their location in Evans since it is their main lot where they do the tree flocking and the wreaths. They say flood damage near their farm in North Carolina, about an hour north of Boone, caused some challenges. The owner was happy to continue to bring the tradition for so many back to the CSRA since his family has been doing this for 42 years.
A few months back, we weren't even sure that we were going to be able to be out here. So I think for us to be able to be here and still see the people that we've seen for years. I mean, there's people that have been buying from us since I was a little kid. So for us to be able to see those people and when we weren't sure that we were going to be able to, I think it is special.
And since the National Hills area still had damage from Helene, they decided to open just the one location, hoping people from that area will still come to the farm. You can find the times they are open at WJBF.com. Looking for something to do after Thanksgiving dinner and want to burn off those extra calories? Well, you can do just that by visiting any South Carolina state park for free on Black Friday. The state will waive admission fees for all 47 state parks to encourage people to spend time outdoors. The State Parks Department is inviting people to share photos of their visit on social media using the hashtags OptOutsideSC and SC State Parks. Coming up, what the next steps are for Vice President Kamala Harris. We'll have those details when we come back.
Hello, I'm Adria Wapler.
Cold air rushing in next week as we head into the month of December. We'll have lows in the 20s. I'll have your full forecast coming up.
You were just doing your job.
isn't just a feeling, it's a daily reality. Before Hurricane Helene hit, our area was already experiencing the highest level of food insecurity we've seen in 15 years. With 1 in 4 children in our community facing hunger, programs like our backpack program bring hope to families in need. Visit goldenharvest.org to donate now, because every child deserves a full plate, not an empty stomach.
Play quick win from the... Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live 5 or 6.
Welcome back. Well, definitely not a washout today for Thanksgiving, but if you were up and about early this morning, you may have heard some rumbles of thunder, seen some lightning. We did get a little bit of rain all across the CSRA, but nothing too significant, and luckily no severe weather. Here's a look at what happened starting at 7 o'clock in the morning. Places like Emmanuel County got some heavy rain. It moved through the metro, parts of Richmond, Aiken County around 9 a.m. Then as it pushed down towards the south, we had some stronger storms. Notice a lot of lightning strikes here from Burke County down to Washington and Johnson with a special weather statement that was issued. Then we had a pretty strong cell there in Screven County as well. You can see that right around Sylvania, but then the rain passed and we're left with dry conditions the rest of our Thanksgiving evening. Our dew points are definitely falling. We're seeing the mid-40s now. Still some moisture down in our southeastern counties, and you can see the winds are breezy, but we're no longer under that lake wind advisory, so not as high of wind gusts as what we had earlier this morning. Sustained winds up to around 11 miles per hour, the gusts up to around 25. Now, as for the temperatures, we're seeing some mid-50s up towards the northwest, mid-60s down towards the south still, but you can overall see all the cold air from Canada taking over the United States. Only 10 degrees in Bismarck, but 60s still in southern Texas and 70s in Florida. As for satellite and radar, still some cloud cover behind this cold front, possibly a few showers coming in from the west that we'll see early tomorrow morning, but no snow for us despite the cold weather. But let's look at places that are having a nice white Thanksgiving. That would be up in the northeast and then over towards the Great Lakes region as well. And some leftover snow you're seeing now on our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam in Pennsylvania. For Black Friday tomorrow, if you're headed out shopping, just bring a jacket with you. We'll only be making it to around 58 degrees. Lots of sunshine though, and then in the morning just some leftover cloud cover, but as you can see here on our feature cast, there won't be much going on. So tonight at 10 o'clock, just the clouds. You can see those showers streaming in from the west, though I do think this is a little bit overdone, so I'm just going with a 10% chance of rain very early in the morning. Then the high pressure moves in, winds coming in from the northwest, and very cold air settling in Friday night with a freeze watch in effect through 9 a.m. on Saturday morning. Temperatures in the upper 20s to low 30s. Then next week it will get even colder, so we'll be anywhere from around 25 to 29 degrees over the next several mornings to come. So it's a pretty long cold stretch. We'll briefly warm up, but then it looks like we'll cool back down again. So lows tonight in the upper 30s to low 40s. Highs tomorrow are mostly going to be in the mid to upper 50s. And here's a look at your 10-day forecast. Lots of sunshine to enjoy. No rain until late next week. You can see we get back into the low 60s on Thursday, but then we cool back down next weekend. It will be nearly just as cold as this weekend. Back to you, Hannah.
Thank you, Jenna. It's a beloved tradition that signals the start of every University of Georgia home football game. The haunting first 14 notes of the Battle Hymn of the Republic, played by a lone trumpeter at the start of each home football game, is a long-standing tradition at UGA. 7 minutes before kickoff, a hush falls over the stadium and fans point one finger toward the southwest corner where a lone trumpet player stands. There are only 3 trumpet players chosen to play the battle hymn as a solo each year. This year, one of them is Mackenzie Matthews, a 2022 graduate of Lakeside High School and a junior at UGA.
So getting into the band, typically people have to send in a video of them doing an etude, some scales, and marching technique. In my case, because I went in as a music minor and was accepted into their music school already, I kind of bypassed that process. And it's a blind audition, so what that means is that they turn around, essentially. One by one, we would all go to the middle of the field, and you had one chance to do it. And then you would go, and you'd walk off, and they don't see you this entire time.
Matthews says she's honored to represent the UGA Redcoat Band and be a role model for little girls who may want to play the trumpet someday. Her next solo is tomorrow night before the big rivalry game against Georgia Tech. Kickoff is at 7:30 p.m. right here on News Channel 6. And coming up, the South Carolina animal facility known for runaway primates is now facing scrutiny on how some monkeys have died. We'll have more on the allegations when we come back.
Ready to develop more? /career. The WJBF Live Viper 6 Skyview Network is sponsored by Terry Lambert Hyundai. Low prices, big selection, and committed to quality customer service.
In South Carolina, the Alpha Genesis facility in Yemassee is back under fire after an incident that happened last week, alleging that 18 of the primates have died from a heating malfunction. Now, PETA members are demanding federal action to shut down the facility. Danielle Cobb reports.
According to multiple whistleblower reports, a diesel-powered furnace may have malfunctioned late Friday night, killing 18 monkeys housed in the research facility. With this being one of many incidents reported in the facility's history, animal activist group PETA is now stepping in.
We've watched it for many years and have filed complaints with the U.S. Department of Agriculture about its many problems.
Kathy Guillermo, PETA's Senior Vice President of Laboratory Investigations, tells me the U.S. Department of Agriculture, or USDA, has immediately responded to those incident reports.
We know that the U.S. Department of Agriculture was there this week in response to complaints that we filed.
Guillermo says the facility is an important source of jobs in Yemassee and both Beaufort and Hampton County, but the information regarding the deadly incident came from one of those workers.
We're hearing from some of those people who are employed, and they're extremely upset. You know, the person who is in charge of cleaning the cages and feeding the animals is not the person who makes the decisions about how conditions are kept and how the processes and SOPs are put in place.
Guillermo claims PETA has received many complaints from residents in the community about the facility's morality. PETA's goal is to stop the funding of medical testing, essentially moving towards shutting down the facility as a whole.
It's crucial right now that people in the community where these monkeys were just roasted to death and from where monkeys escaped are in touch with the police department and demanding accountability.
Now, Alpha Genesis has said it has recovered 39 of the 43 monkeys that escaped earlier this month and have done thorough checks on the primates' health. They are in good health and do not abuse the animals. And the Alpha Genesis CEO has not commented on the recent claims. We'll be right back.
You come to the Hog Law Group.
Quality customer service.
And we can't leave without wishing you a joyous Thanksgiving holiday. But you know we have to do it the WJBF way.
So here are our favorite and least favorite Thanksgiving desserts.
All right, my favorite Thanksgiving dessert probably has to be pumpkin pie, but I've had a new appreciation for the pecan pie, especially the pecan pie at Lifesaver since I've been here in Augusta. So pecan and pumpkin pie are probably my favorite Thanksgiving desserts. My least favorite is anything involving cranberry. I'm not a really big cranberry guy, but that said, I'm looking forward to having some delicious food and being surrounded by my family for Thanksgiving this year.
Okay, my favorite Thanksgiving dessert, I would have to, okay, it's changed. So it was pumpkin pie, but a warmed apple pie with a side of vanilla ice cream, spot on. And then I'd say my worst would have to be cranberry sauce. I'm just not a cranberry person to begin with, so just the sauce and like the texture of it just doesn't sit right with me. So that is my favorite, and that is my least favorite Thanksgiving dessert.
So my favorite Thanksgiving dessert is absolutely sweet potato pie. I love a good homemade sweet potato pie. Gotta have it. And my least favorite is pumpkin. And trust me, guys, there is a difference.
Hey everyone, happy Thanksgiving. My favorite Thanksgiving dessert is probably pecan pie, but I'm also a huge fan of apple pie. Now, this is where I'm going to get a little controversial. While I do enjoy pumpkin pie, I'm going to have to put that in the bottom slot. All you pumpkin pie lovers, don't come for me, but it's just not, it doesn't compare. It does not compare. That's my thoughts.
My favorite Thanksgiving dessert is pecan pie. I just love my mama's pecan pie. Delish. She does the best. My least favorite Thanksgiving dessert, banana pudding. I don't have to do it. I just don't need banana pudding at Thanksgiving.
My favorite Thanksgiving dessert is pumpkin pie because I like anything pumpkin, and my least favorite is cranberry sauce because I don't like the texture.
My favorite would have to be peach cobbler with some ice cream, vanilla to be exact. And my least favorite, gotta go with pecan pie.
Well, I would say the house is pretty divided on that one.
I was gonna say the house is pretty divided on pecan versus pecan. Was your team pecan?
I've been getting roasted for how I pronounce pecan.
Saying it right. Pecan.
Pecan.
I'm saying pecan.
I've always said pecan.
I go back and forth, I think, but everyone in the South says pecan.
They do.
So,
My parents are from the North. That's what I blame it on. They
yeah,
say
and I've
pecan.
lived in the North and South like equal years of my life, so I go back and forth with that and the caramel thing.
Yes. I don't know how I pronounce anything now. Y'all gonna have an identity crisis. Well, be sure to go to our website, WJBF.com. We'll have the full newsroom Thanksgiving dessert video with a few surprises.
The fourth Thursday